Well, I wasn't expecting this, but I guess it's gonna have to happen. Welcome back, YouTube. So nothing bad with the car per se, but what I wasn't expecting was having to put the air pump back in and the cap back in to pass smog again. Could have sworn I smogged it last year, so I'm not too sure why I'm having the smog again, but I'm having to do it, so I'm doing it. So instead of a how to remove the air pump or your cat video like you can find on YouTube everywhere, this is actually, it's not really how to. Again, I don't do how to's, but this is putting in the air pump and cat so we pass smog, so we can be street legal. So the worst part about doing this job is simply just jacking up the car. I don't have much space in here. It probably doesn't help that it's absolutely atrocious in here. There's shit everywhere, and I need to get through some of this stuff and move it about and get it all organized, and that's one of the plans to maybe work on this winter. So the worst part about doing this whole thing is simply having to jack it up. I had to jack it up to get the cat on, number one, but right now what I'm kind of focused more on is the air pump itself, and the only reason I have to jack it up to get the air pump on is this pipe here. This pipe runs right onto the manifold header, whatever you want to call it. I call it a header. I see people call it manifolds. I don't know what the actual difference is between a manifold and a header. It's always been the same to me, to be honest with you, but who knows? You guys can leave comments down below explaining the differences if you want. Educate me. I like to learn, and not that proud of a person to say that I know everything, because I sure as hell don't. Anyhow, getting sidetracked as usual. So the only reason why we have to jack this side up is so that we can get these two bolts in at the bottom when it slips onto the header. Currently I just have a blank off plate right now as my delete, and then we have to get this guy in, the air pump itself, secondary air pump. For you that don't know, the secondary air pump, I think it's a secondary air pump, either way, the air pump is actually for the cat, to warm the cat up for emissions, so it makes better emissions when it's cold, when the car is cold. So it's not really relevant, because by the time I take it over to the smog shop, it'll be plenty warm enough to where the pump won't actually come on when the dude goes to fire it. But the problem is, and why can't you just leave it off then, James? Well, the problem is it will throw code. Currently right now there's a check engine light on my dash, and that is for the cat and for the pump, and if that code is there, it will not pass smog no matter what. I mean, I guess you could hot smog it, but I'm not trying to do that. Rather put the time in just to throw everything back in. Either way, so this I typically don't mind, but it kind of sucks, but at the same time, once every 2 years typically. So as per usual, I did not charge the GoPro. Actually, this will be the first time you guys actually get to see me in the garage at night, but this is typically how I work. I work in the middle of the night when everyone goes to sleep. When my wife and daughter are in bed, I come out here and I wrench on the car. I do whatever I gotta do. But this is probably where you'll see a lot of videos, to be honest with you. That's why I really need to get this place into shape so it's semi-presentable for everybody. But besides that, So while you might be able to see it, this is what we're going after down here. See if I can get you in there. See that plate there? Pretty hard to see because of the low lighting, but that plate is what we need to remove to get that pipe back on. It's just 2 bolts. It's not a big deal. It's actually incredibly easy, but that's what I'm going after, just so you know what I'm staring at, actually, or whatever. So silly, but this is it. No block off plate, held on by 2 10 mils. Nothing special. It's easiest to kind of get it with adapters, obviously, as with everything with this, with the Rx8. Just sell some knuckle extensions, and it's pretty straightforward, to be honest with you. You'll want to reuse this gasket. I don't know how many times you can use it. You know, but I mean, we'll reuse it. It's not a big deal. It's only going to be on there for 5 seconds. Maybe I'll order another one when I put this back on. Maybe. We'll see. Never had any leakage issues, so it is what it is. But first step, get out the blocking plate. Cleaned up the surface a little bit with just a wire wheel, just so there's nothing there. And she's just gonna go on like this actually. Not that you can really see, but yeah. Alright, so these little 10 mils, whilst they're not difficult to get on and off, when that pipe is on there, it's a pain in the ass to get in there. It's not fun at all. But and the last thing you really want to do is drop a nut. So what I've done in the past is a little bit of tire glue for my RC stuff, Proline. It's inexpensive. I just put a dab on here. It doesn't ruin the bit or anything like that because it's only a tiny bit, but it will keep it in there relatively well, and hopefully will make it so it won't drop. See? At least not easily. So, and then when I start putting this on there, once the threads grab, you just yank it off and it comes right off. It's not a big deal. Like I said, there's not much glue on there. There's just enough to hold it on. That's all. Okay? Little tip. I don't know, you probably won't be able to see it very well, to be honest, but it's on there. Just a couple threads. Don't need to get crazy with tightening it down right away, but here's my 10 mil. See how it has the shoulder here? That's what sticks in. That's what I glue to. Okay, it's not an abundance. I don't get any on the threads or anything like that, because that would potentially mess it up. See if I can get it in shot here, but just kind of little dab. Okay, it's actually probably a bit too much, but that'll be all right. Set it in there. This is an extremely fast setting. Very, very fast setting. Like I said, it's tire glue. That's the part number if you want to give it a whirl yourself. I don't know if you can see that. If it's kind of out of focus. 6031-00, made by Proline, and it's for RC tires. But it doesn't go anywhere. Okay, and again, the only reason I do that is because I don't feel like going fishing for a 10mm nut. And I'm gonna see if I can get you in there, because it's not a easy space to get to. Sorry about all the shaking and stuff. Not an easy space to get to by any means, especially when the pipe is in there. Actually a pain in the butt. Let's see if that'll help. That's the pipe. There's the first 10mm. I need to get my arm out of the way so you guys can see some light. And then the other one is on the other side over here. And it's just difficult to get to. I mean, I guess it's not difficult, it's just time consuming and tedious, you know? But I figured I'd show you guys. This should be the fastest part of the project, but it's also the most tedious part of the project. Once it's on the thread, like so, you can start spinning it on. Right, didn't destroy it by any means, and that'll rub off if you're really worried about your bits having that bit of glue on them. You take some rubbing alcohol, whatever, and it comes right off. Not a big deal. Quick little tip I've learned over the years. Alright, so new evening. We're going to be getting the cat out, or the non-resonated mid-pipe. We're going to be taking that out, and then we're going to be putting the cat in. Normally wouldn't take this long, but I don't know. I've been slow this past week. Anyway, doesn't matter. It's not really a good position to put you guys in. As you can see, the car's not jacked up very high. Just enough for me to get in there, do what I gotta do, and kind of, yeah, that's all. Next time I film something under the car, I guess I'll try to be more mindful of how tall up this little mount sits. That way I can take you guys under there and you guys can watch a time lapse or something. I don't know. If I do put a time lapse in and I'm able to put it under the car, then I'll put it in under the car. But if not, you'll probably just get an update after I've got the mid pipe out and maybe even the cat on. We'll see. Two things. Anything exhaust wise and dealing hangers or bolts in general, PB Blaster, man. That's the move right there. It makes things simpler, easier. Then, before I forget, this little tool for the O2 sensor makes it nice and easy to get out and spend a little bit of money. For love of everything, hanger pliers, dude. Just get them. Don't question it. Just thank me later. All right. They make a world of difference, and just it's one less thing. I've been under there with a crowbar before, and a long ratchet, trying to pry out the stupid exhaust hangers and stuff like that. It's not worth your time. It's really not. Just spend the money. It's like 15 bucks from Harbor Freight or Amazon. Good tool. All right. Well, things got hectic. I couldn't get some bolts loose, so we brought out all the big guns, all the tools, and then I'm an idiot. I don't know what happened, but last time I must have put on like oddball hardware or something like that, man. I don't know, but none of this stuff matched up. It was the worst. So I need to make a mental note to go pick up new hardware, and this time make sure it all matches. Duh. All right. So I don't know how much you can see, but she's ugly under here. But the cat is in. I doubt you'll be able to see it. I want to check for leaks real quick. This does lead to a opportunity, as the car has been sitting for 4 days, I think. This will be a cold start for you guys with the oh, that's dark. Bear in mind, this will be stock header, manifold, whatever you want to call it, stock cat, and single exit HKS exhaust. Alright, I'm gonna kill the fan, that way you guys don't hear any of that noise, but otherwise else, let's see what we got. I'll catch you guys in a minute. The smoke is going to be because it's been sitting for 4 days, and on top of that, that cat has been sitting in the attic since last year. So I'm gonna hop underneath and go check for leaks.